This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Oh, I'm here, everybody. I'm here. I'm just trying to fix something really quick. Oh man, I'll have to get that going again. Here we go. One more time. All right, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Yeah. You know, I'd like to think that flattery is a compliment. I mean, not flattery. Imitation is the sincerest form of a compliment, right? Or whatever the hell the phrase is. I can't even remember. Wait, how's that making that sound? Weird. Yeah, but there's a YouTuber out there that just literally copies every single thing, and he tries to play it off like people are just crazy. Like what do you mean? It's true crime is true crime. Listen, you know how we've covered the case that Identifinders just solved? We covered it 5 months ago, and then it was solved. And today I did a show that says in the title, it says Crime Con Freaks or something like that, right? And then I talked about the one case where the kid stabbed the girl 140 times. And then we talked for a while, and then the show's over. Then all of a sudden the Grifter has a show, but has Crime Con again in the title. He even brings up the whole case that we talked about last night with Colleen and Misty, you know, being part of it. And then he talks about, oh, I'm going to go do Jed Match. And then I'm going to show people how it works, and I'll probably have to blur out some names. Exactly the same thing that I said that I'll be doing when we record it. He said, I'll record it and I'll show you. It'll be really neat. I mean, it was exactly the same sentences. It's kind of spooky. I got to be honest with you. It's spooky. And then he also did only the cases that we talked about, and then felt obligated at the end to add in a couple different ones. It's just really weird, you guys. And people over there are like, oh, they're just trying to, you know. Like one of the freaks was over there. I didn't even know about it. She was over there, our buddy Zozo, and said, wow, I just saw this yesterday. How original. And then Greeno, who has a history being sort of not pleasant with females, said, F you to her, and then said something about eating a private part of a guy, right? I mean, it's incredible. The people over there that are just so like brainwashed by a psycho, okay? Absolute psycho. It's unbelievable. And a lot of people have messaged me, God, he's copying what you do. He even tries to kind of copy the way I talk and mannerisms and so forth. It's really strange, everybody. And people that are over there that are just, they don't realize it. But believe me when I say in a little bit there's going to be a big grift and you'll all get screwed, and then you'll realize it. But a lot of you wackos that continue to watch that are that's just your own fault. Okay, that means you're okay. You're one of the people that, you know, fool me twice, shame on me type of thing. You'll go 9 times. All right. So, anyways, it really is kind of creepy. It's bizarre, you know. What else do you say about it? He won't admit it. He never admits anything. The guy has stolen. Like, I'll come up with an idea in a video, and then he'll quickly copy it really quick and pretend that he added a nuance onto. It's unbelievable. Okay, and I know you guys probably get sick of talking about it, but I don't know if it's jealousy. It's that you know how sociopaths or whatever they imitate. They don't really have the ability to just sort of be themselves. So they have to imitate other people. And so they're kind of looking, going, oh, people seem to like that. Let me try to do that. A little bit like Jodi Arias. Thank you, Scott Holland. And also, thank you very much, Rita Schaefer up there. No, he said it out loud, Amber Midden. He literally said it out loud. I can play the audio if you guys want to hear it. You guys want to hear it? I'll play the audio for you.
Saturday night donation night. This is the only true crime connection and investigation genealogy, and Kathleen is a freak ambassador of the channel.
Oh yeah. So I actually record. See, a lot of stuff that Greeno does that it's just totally uncalled for, shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. But you know, so I record it, so I have it as evidence. So here's one of them. Here he is.
All right, first off, I just saw a comment from Zozo that says, I just bought the exact same coverage on Gray's channel. How original. You know what? I'm just going to call it like I see it. Fuck you. And stay off my channel if you're going to talk about him. Okay? And that's just as plain as I'm going to put it. How original? How original is it for someone to cover a case that's happening now in the news? Okay? So, my advice...
Yeah, see, what's crazy is, no, you weren't even talking about the case, Greeno.
Advice to you is eat a dick.
Yeah, see, that's what he said to a woman. Can you believe that? Like, who talks to a woman? Who says any of those comments to a woman? You know, you might think him like, good, you know. But do you really say that out loud on a show and then say, eat this? He just said that, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. I mean, he's a psycho, okay? And he goes, hey, you think it's copying true crime? Well, you covered the exact same cases. There are tons and tons of cases out there. You covered the exact same ones. This guy is just, oh my God, he's insane.
How original? How original is it for someone to cover a case that's happening now in the news?
Right, yeah, so you covered this, the obscure story about the identifiers, the case that they solved. You know, the one that you hadn't even heard about, but you watched my show and you heard about it. And then you started getting into GEDmatch and how you're going to upload and you're going to share how to do it. And you're going to have to, like, blur things out because, you know, you don't want names out there. Exactly the same words that I said to you guys, because I was told to do that when I was talking to Misty. All right? So, but now he goes, ooh, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. It makes him seem like he cares. Hey, let me try to do that too. Yeah, it's really creepy, everybody. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, so my advice to you is eat a dick. Now,
Zozo did have a great comeback line, but unfortunately, she was removed before the comeback line could have been seen by him. But should I read your comeback line, Zozo? It was pretty good, though. It was something on the lines of, If I do eat that, it'll be a lot bigger than yours. It was pretty good. Okay, it was like, you know, you really couldn't have a better comeback than that one. Oh yeah. Anyways, this guy he's a psycho, man. That's all there is to it. Yeah, you gotta admit, that was a pretty good comeback. That's almost like mug-worthy, right? Like, I don't know if those would sell, but no, listen. It's just the reality of it. Go look him up on Google. Just type his name in, and those articles are all true that you read about him. Okay, and it's actually in the newspapers all around. It's unbelievable. People are just being absolutely suckered over there, and at some point, it's all going to come true, and people will realize it. All right, it's all going to come to fruition. I don't really want to have, I've said his name before. Oop, there goes my stomach. You missed a whole thing. Yeah, looks like a lot of the criminals that we've covered lately. It's weird. Yeah, well, I'm just, I know it's not worth the time. I'm just letting you know what the reality is so that you don't ever go. I don't want any one of you to go, you know what, let me give that guy a chance. He's fantastic. He's a terrible person, okay? Ask anybody that's ever dated him. Ask the police. Ask all the people that have been swindled. And you see what they say, okay? It's a reality. It's not something I'm making up. All right? Yeah, he's kind of clever the way he pulls off his grifts and so forth. It's amazing. Really got it down to a science. Oh yeah, by the way, you know the case that we talked about earlier on the earlier show with the 120 stab wounds, or 140 it might have been, the guy, and then his mother washed the pants. He actually was saying, look at that, the cops are trying to frame the mom. I mean, who knows what those cops are doing? Look at that, they're trying to, I mean, she just washed some pants. She just watched some jeans. Yeah, Fucci. Yeah, you just watched some jeans there. I mean, what kind of analysis is that? Are you kidding me? It's on video. She literally washes them by hand, then puts them in a room, and then somebody convinced her to put them back into the son's room. Man, it's just, wow. Yeah, the grifter, yeah. That's who I'm referring to. Anyways, I never did get a hold of Becky or Kelsey or anybody. They're at dinner with HLN right now. So, oh well. No, it doesn't just sound like one. He is one. Although he'll come across where it's kind of smooth and he's got these videos and everything. But I'm just telling you, what I'm telling you is the truth. There is no doubt about it.
This meeting is being recorded.
That's my Zoom. I'm going to set up Zoom just in case if people want to call in later or something. All right, but I'm going to get to the Australian case now. It's pretty wild. I'm sure you'll see it on another channel tomorrow, although it might be too complex. But... oh yeah, you've been watching those? I didn't use my voice or anything back then. I don't know why I didn't. It's so much easier. There, hold on, I'm trying something. Okay, that looked like that might have worked. Trying to do the bots. It doesn't seem to work anymore. We'll see. Anyways, Zozo really didn't say anything wrong. She was absolutely just saying like it is, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. But I always appreciate when people are looking out, because, yeah, there's some really crazy people. And what's really weird is there was this guy that made a video on ethics of making videos, and he tried to champion it as if he's sort of the gold standard of... It's just unbelievable. It's wild. He's exactly the person the guy who made the video was talking about. I don't have one. I don't even know what you're talking about, Bill. Sorry, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about, Bill. Sorry, buddy. I'm doing something else. That's why. Did you read the title? That was Becky. She said she was sorry that they got swamped. Nah, it's mind-boggling. I don't even remember that case, though, Bill. That's the thing, is I don't even remember that one. Oh yeah, that's like one we did a long time ago, I think. Man, how obscure was that? All right, here we go. I'm going to get started here on the Wanda Beach Murders in Australia here. Looks like it's on the southeastern coast area down here. I'm surprised you were subscribed over there, Miss Markle. That's unbelievable. Man, it's wild. If I could tell you who said it, what law enforcement said about him, you would never have subscribed there ever in the first place. Okay? So just realize that they think he is an absolute idiot. All right? And there you go. Oh, they did say he was pretty good at editing video. Yeah, he does have the bells and whistles. Other than that, absolute idiot. Yeah, I'm doing this case right now, though. The Wanda Beach Murders. All right, here we go. So I'm doing the same way. I went back through newspapers.com. Yeah, he copied every single thing that was on my show, Jennifer. Like literally, I don't even want to explain it again. Just you'll have to go watch it. It's weird, very strange. So it's kind of cool on this Australian website here. They actually put the text over here, making it a little easier to read. So here we go. And he's been doing it for a while, you guys. So. Bodies on the beach. 2 Sydney girls found murdered. And this is a Sydney Tuesday. The bodies of 2 15-year-old Sydney girls were found partly buried on Wanda Beach, 20 miles south of Sydney. The girls had both been stabbed to death and criminally assaulted. So sexually assaulted, I would imagine. The victims were Kristen Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt. It could just be Marianne. It's Marionne. Neighbours in the Sydney suburb of Ryde. They kind of look similar, though. It's weird how similar they look. Let me, I'll show you a picture. They almost look like they could be sisters, you know? And here's another one, obviously taken right around the same time. So they were neighbors in the Ryde suburb. Police tonight described the crime as one of the most appalling in state's history. Scratch marks on both girls' faces showed the girls had fought for their lives. A trail of blood revealed that the girls had been dragged more than 20 yards to their graves, which consisted of roughly heaped piles of sand. The two girls left home yesterday morning for Wanda Beach with Miss Schmidt's two brothers and sister aged 10, 8, and 7. At 1:30 p.m., the teenagers left the children to go for a walk along the beach. They became separated, and this was the last time the younger children saw their sister or Miss Sharrock. Police believe the girls may have met some boys during their walk. The two other children arrived at home at 9:30 last night. Police were not notified of the girls' disappearance, and nothing more was heard or seen of them until 2:30 this afternoon, when their bodies were found by a member of the Wanda Surf Club. The member, Mr. Peter Smith, discovered the bodies while walking along the beach with three nephews. He first noticed a girl's leg protruding from the sand about 1.5 miles from Wanda Clubhouse and about 400 yards from the surf. The two bodies were only partly clothed. Mr. Smith immediately notified police, who cordoned off the area. Bloodstains on a nearby scrub and recently made car tracks were discovered, leading from where the bodies were found. The bodies were removed to the Sutherland District Hospital, where a relative later identified them. All state search for Canberra girls, and then I guess it goes on to another page, but I don't think I have that one. Yeah, Chloe's just gobbling down some food over there. Yeah, this is 1965. A long time ago. Here, let me go to Wanda Beach. So that's the clubhouse right there. I think it's right here, actually. Like right around in this area, now that I look at the picture. Let me load this one shot that I have. This one. I think this one's pretty close. Yeah, it almost looks like that's what they're looking at right there. Submerged house. Huh. Car bogged in the sand. Yeah, it's hard to know for sure, but it almost feels like it's in this area. Although there could be tons of different spots, like over here too, right? Like all of these. Let me They gave the distance though on that last. Let me open up that last file again. He first noticed girl's leg protruding from the sand about 1.5 miles from Wanda Clubhouse and about 400 yards from the surf. 1.5 miles from Wanda Clubhouse. Let's see. Okay, that was it. So it's going to be this direction. All right, so that's not the spot that I was just looking at. So let's see if I go from here down the beach, 1.5 miles. Maybe that's it. Hold on, I'm trying to find that one picture. Well, that's 1.5 miles. You know, this is like 50 something years ago, though, right? 55 years ago. So it's hard to know 100% where things are. Let's see. Wanda Beach Surf Club. So this is just kind of a generic picture. It's not going to be exact. Green Hills. Well, it said 1.5 miles from the surf club. And that's where we have that line. It's about that far. So maybe we'll get some more details later. Hey, thank you, Sarita. All right, here we go. A surfy is sought, so I imagine that means surfer. I think they say E instead of over there. All right. The hunt for the Wanda Beach killer of two 15-year-old girls is focused on a blonde, long hair youth described by police as a surfy type. No, excuse me. Long blonde hair youth described by police as a surfy type. Not, never mind. Anyway, you got it. The youth accompanied the two girls, Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, on Monday into the sand dunes where their mutilated bodies were found yesterday. Marianne's 7-year-old brother, Wolfgang, tried to follow them, but stumbled and fell. He waited and saw the youth return from the dunes alone. Interesting. Wolfgang asked where the girls were, but the youth walked on without replying. The youth police believe can help inquiries is described as about 15 years old, of medium build and complexion with long fair hair. He is suntan, had white ointment on his nose. Man, just a regular Spicoli here, huh? Was wearing long, light gray trousers and had a blue towel twisted around his neck. The girls who live next door to each other in Brush Street, West Ryde, let's see where that is. There it is. This is all in like New South Wales up here. So they just live somewhere on the street. We don't get to know which one. Hey, they do have street view, so you can get a general view of kind of what it looked like on their street. Although Again, 1965. Both were stabbed several times. They were buried in shallow grave, but wind uncovered part of one body, which was seen by Mr. Peter Smith of Cronulla as he walked on the beach. Police said today Marianne had been criminally assaulted and an attempt had been made to assault Christine. Yeah, now I actually have a picture here. It's pretty wild. This is them coming up on the scene here. And I think that's a foot right there. See, these guys are looking down. And I think some of that's their hair. They were buried underneath this mound right here. But I think that's a foot there. And maybe that's the other leg right there. Weird, huh? And then it says the sand was sifted for murder clues. Experts said today the two 15-year-old girls found murdered near Wanda Beach last Tuesday were not raped. That's probably totally bogus. They just didn't want to put that out there. The girls' bodies with multiple stab wounds were found under mounds of sand behind the suburban beach. The CJB chief, Superintendent R. Walden, said tonight evidence showed the slayer might have attempted to assault both girls sexually, but medical evidence was inconclusive. So then why say he wasn't? You just said it's inconclusive. The girls were Marianne Schmidt and her close friend Christine Sharrock, both of West Ryde. CIB detectives working 24 hours a day have established the killer's knife, probably a scout knife or large penknife. The girls may have known a blonde surfie, who spoke to the girls on the beach when they were last seen alive. Intensive hunt planned. A younger brother of Marianne Schmidt, 7-year-old Wolfgang, saw the youth walking into the sand dunes with the girls on Monday afternoon. Tomorrow, more than 50 police will conduct an intensive hunt to locate the youth. Council employees will begin sifting about half a mile of sand of Wanda Beach tomorrow to uncover clues which might identify the killer. Sutherland County Council will use special mobile units to scoop an inch-deep layer of sand and sift it through the special screens. I don't know. That seems kind of... The police... let's see. Mr. Allen said today parents would warn their children, again speaking to strangers on the beach. See, I'm reading with the English translation, but the text is bad over here, so sometimes it might not be as accurate over here. But all right. And then it says, this is the next day, I think. We're on the January 16th. And see, January is summer over there. So it's not like it's cold and windy or anything. Australia is the complete opposite of over here. When it's summer here, it's winter there. So fortunately, one year, we went to Australia for the entire summer here in the U.S., so I got to spend 2 winters. Melbourne is almost exactly like Portland in the winter. Just kind of drizzly, rainy crap all day long. So I got like 6 months of that. MUNTS. Let's see. Weak murder suspect held. Brisbane Friday. Brisbane police have sent a message to Cindy CIB to check the movements of a youth questioned here about the Wanda Beach murders. Detectives said the youth was considered to be a weak suspect. Schoolgirls Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, both 15, were murdered at Wanda Beach on Monday. He was detained in Brisbane late night by police after they saw him in the company with 2 other youths in South Australia registered car. It was learned he had hitched a ride in the car from Newcastle on Tuesday. When detained, he had 3 knives, a sheath knife, a throwing knife, and a penknife in his possession. The 2 youths he was with were not detained. Police said the detained youth had light brown, almost blonde hair. He had about 9 pounds in his possession. The youth, a farm laborer, gave police a detailed account of his movements on Monday. He said he had been traveling between Wollongong and Gosford. Crime laboratory tests were run on the Wollongong? I wish I could say it with the Australian accent. I can't do it. Let's see. In Sydney, police using a front-end loader and tractor shifted hundreds of tons of sand on the beach and sifted it through a giant sieve in an effort to find some clue of the killer's identity. They have concentrated on the area where the girls' bodies were found and also the spot 30 yards away where patches of blood were discovered. Meantime, North Cronulla Beach Inspector Barry Ezzy has told police that he watched a youth fitting the description of the wanted surfer who was annoying girls on the beach last week. He had warned the youth off the beach after he had started talking to 2 girls and had put his hand on one girl's leg. Man, I mean, everybody's suspicious after a while, right? I mean, that's kind of a typical teenage deal there, right? Youths give new lead in beach murders. 2 youths gave police a vital lead today in their search for the killer. Well, it must not have been that vital, okay? Because this is still pretty much unsolved today, even though they have some people that are interesting. They told police they had met the dead. Oh, I'm reading over here. I don't want to read that. Let's see. The youths, about 17 years old, walked into Cronulla police station after police had appealed for information about the murders. They told police they had met the dead girls, Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, both of Ryde, at Wanda Beach on New Year's Eve. Okay, so that wouldn't be the same day. During an interview today, the youth gave detectives the description of a teenager they had seen fishing for crabs on rocks near Wanda Beach the day the girls were killed. Okay. Let's see. The police commissioner, Mr. Allen, has appealed to the youth to come forward and tell his story. He said the youth may have been an innocent bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, I mean, what do you mean? He was fishing on New Year's Eve. They were killed on the 11th. I don't understand that. Is that like when... I would imagine New Year's is the same day it is over here. I don't really understand the connection they're trying to make here. May have been an innocent bystander in the wrong place. Well, yeah, he was there 11 days before. Detectives now have 3 descriptions of youths seen in the area on the day the girl was stabbed. Okay, so what does it say up here? Marianne, they both of Ryde at Wanda Beach on New Year's Eve. During an interview today, the youth gave detectives the description of a teenager they had seen fishing for crabs on rocks near Wanda Beach. Okay, the day the girls were killed. Okay, but why did they mention New Year's Eve over here? I don't get it. It said the youth may have been an innocent bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time. Detectives now have 3 descriptions of youths seen in the area on the day the girls were stabbed. A youth whom Wolfgang Schmidt saw walking in the dunes with the girls. A youth seen crab fishing on rocks at nearby Cronulla Beach. Okay, let's type that in. And let's see how close that is to... That should be getting us more narrowed in. Ah, shit. That's not even close. There must be another beach, like, right over here. Actually, I'm not even in the right... Hold on. What's going on? Jeez. Thanks, LM. Oh man, what was the name of the main beach again? Hold on, I have to load this up. Something's missing. Oh, there it is right there. I got it. There it is. There's Cronulla Beach. That's not where I'm trying to go right now. I'm trying to go onto this. Oh, okay. I guess that does make sense. So it's the other way then? Wow. That's South Cronulla Beach. This is the Wanda. So what's this beach over here? Man, that just doesn't make any sense. The Cronulla Beach is right there. Okay. So a mile and a half, so let's go the other direction then. Now it makes more sense that way then, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This is what it looks like to me. So I don't know why they're saying Cronulla Beach, which is over here in a sort of a densely populated area. It doesn't really look like that. Maybe that didn't look like that a long time ago. Let's see what it looked like in, what's 2003? 85, yeah, it's populated. Yeah, this is one place I wouldn't swim, alright? I don't swim where I'm food. Okay? Australia is a pretty... they've got some big sharks there, let's just put it that way. Well, come on, Sarita, you getting that water? Oh yeah! It's awesome! Good times, right? Alright, so anyways, they say a youth seen crab fishing on rocks at a nearby Cronulla Beach. So, a youth seen by a beach inspector molesting girls on Cronulla Promenade. So is that the one where you said a guy had his hand on a leg? In each case, the youth is about 16 with long blonde hair of medium build and wears white ointment on his nose. Man, they had 3 Spacolis at the beach at the exact same time. Unbelievable. Detectives, and if you don't know, if you're from Australia and you don't know who the hell I'm talking about, let me, I don't know how to spell it, but hopefully, there it is. Right. Right there, right? Let's see, with nose ointment. I know he had one. Right there. There we go. There we go. Right there. Look. Dude! Right? Like there's 3 Spicolis running around. Yeah, it was zinc. Right. Yeah, everybody type zinc in really quick. Alright. Monday came forward. Let's see. Let me get to the spot. Wears white ointment on his nose. Or zinc. Okay. Detectives tonight asked that several girls who were molested by a youth on Cronulla Promenade last Monday come forward urgently to speak to police. Police say the girls might have more detailed description of the youth. Detectives said tonight Brisbane detectives were satisfied a youth arrested in Brisbane early last week who had 3 knives in his possession was not concerned in last Monday's vicious killings. So now we're getting into like almost 2 weeks after. Sydney CIB this week asked Canberra CIB to interview a man sought in connection with the Wanda Beach murders. A similar request was sent to a number of police stations in New South Wales after the anonymous telephone call from Cronulla resident. A spokesman for Canberra CIB said last night a routine check had been made, but the man had not been found in Canberra. 2 15-year-old girls, Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, both of Ryde, were stabbed to death in the sand hills near the beach last Monday. Let's see. Police scientists, experts were examining a fishing knife last night, which could be the murder weapon. The knife was found by Sydney journalists less than half-mile from the spot where the girls were found. Funeral services were held for the girls in Sydney yesterday. So I'm just going through all the articles that were in the paper. I'm sure there was some more somewhere else, but I'm just using this site who actually has Australian news articles. Newspapers.com, I think I had like 2. Police have begun constructing personality picture, so a profile, of the man who stabbed and killed 2 schoolgirls at Wanda Beach 15 days ago. They are fitting together the pieces of a complex puzzle aided by psychiatrists, experienced detectives, and isolated information offered by the public. They believe the killer is young, with few friends, and knows intimately the area where the girls' bodies were found. Police psychiatrists have agreed that the killer probably stabbed the victims on an impulse rather than after planning his moves. The bodies of the 15-year-old girl, Christine Sharrock, and Marianne Schmidt of Ryde were discovered under sand mounds the day after they were killed. I showed you that picture earlier. Marianne's 7-year-old brother, Wolfgang, told police he saw a youth with long blonde hair leading the girls off into sand dunes when they were last seen alive. About 40 detectives investigating the murders have been issued with, identikit pictures of 2 surfy youths. Detectives have interviewed almost 300 people and received dozens of letters and telephone calls about the murder. At Sydney CIB headquarters, detectives and scientists experts are checking through descriptions, medical reports, and files on the previous murders. Other police are interviewing citizens who think they may have vital information. We're getting right near the end of January here. Okay. CIB detectives released a fair-haired youth today after questioning him for 5 hours in connection with the Wanda Beach double murder. Police took the youth to Randwick Police Station last night after a pair of blood-stained jeans were found on nearby Coogee Beach. While he was being questioned, 12 other blonde-haired youth went to the police station voluntarily, but were later allowed to leave. Man, what if it's not even, has nothing to do with the blonde-haired person? They just blew it. Detectives said later the boy had recognized no one. Police said the youth interviewed about the blood-stained jeans were 17 years old. He closely resembled descriptions given to police of a youth seen at Wanda Beach when the 16-year-old girls, Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, were murdered. Knives were examined. They said the youth satisfactorily explained the bloodstained jeans and his movement on the day of the murder. The two schoolgirls, both from Ryde, were found beneath mounds of sand on Wanda Beach on January 11th. They had been stabbed and indecently assaulted. Meanwhile, detectives are looking for two blonde teenagers who were pestering girls at the beach on January 11th. Police have identikit pictures of the youths who police believe may be able to supply vital information. No, who knows, Scribe, all right? It's not a fact, okay? Anyways, I'm trying to tell the story. So we always get clowns like people like Scribe who come in here and, you know, we're trying to go through the newspaper and they pretend that they've got all the answers. And nobody knows, okay? Nobody knows. All right, go do something else, Scribe. Nobody's interested in your, filling in all the parts before we get to it. I'm not even sure he's the name that gets brought up. Okay, anyways, I'm going to put this person on timeout because they can't stop themselves. Yeah. All right. Let's see. They're just jonesing. It's almost like being able to tell everybody what happened is like a cigarette to them. All right, let's see. Police investigating the Wanda Beach double murder believe a blue towel they found washed up on the beach today is an important lead in the 19-day-old case. A long-haired youth who was last seen with the murdered girls, was carrying a towel of the same color. Police investigating the case may have appealed for public assistance in finding the owner of the towel found on Wanda Beach at noon. They have asked for anyone losing such a towel or anyone knowing of such a person to come forward. Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt of Brush Road, West Ryde, were last seen on Monday, January 11th. Their bodies were found buried in sand dunes at Wanda Beach the next day. They had both been stabbed numerous times, and one girl had her throat cut. The towel found on the beach today may give the police a badly needed breakthrough on the case. It has been sent to the CIB Scientist Bureau for investigation. I mean, back then, man, that really wouldn't have garnered anything. Floating around in the ocean. Today it might. That's for sure. No, I think you got that wrong. I think you got the wrong channel there, Ian. You're talking about Anthony Greeno, aren't you? Okay. I think you messed up. You got the wrong name. This channel's actually donated $40,000 since January 1st, 2020. And yes, the the super chats, the channel memberships, the ad revenue, they all go to helping support my channel and the charities. Everybody knows that when they're sending me super chats, that it's supporting my channel and the charities that we're doing, because it allows me to continue to do shows every single night of the week. Okay? Grifters take funds claiming they're going to do some big things with it and then keep it for themselves and then give you a spin on what happened and this kind of thing. All right? There's a big difference. We are actually making a difference. That's why Identifinders actually put my name on their website, and a link to the channel for all the freaks. All right. I mean, I wish they put just at Gray Hughes, but it should be Gray Hughes Investigates and the Freaks. I think I'm gonna have them change that. So big difference there. All right. Yeah, there's always trolls walking around. See, Ian's one of the people that was embarrassed that he believed in a grifter. And now that he's realized it all collapsed on his face because he finally looked him up on Google, he realized, wow. So then instead of just accepting his idiocy, he tried to blame it on calling somebody else one that isn't one. Yeah. All right, here we go. We are on to policy have a new suspect in, well, I guess they meant police because it's just trying to decipher over here. Police have a new suspect in the Wanda Beach double murder. A surfer who dyed his hair from blonde to black. Ooh, he's trying to cover it up. Little Scott Peterson. Information about the youth came from 2 Brisbane residents. They told Brisbane CIB the youth came to Queensland from Sydney a few days after 2 15-year-old schoolgirls were murdered in Wanda Beach. The youth, aged about 16, is believed to be traveling back to Sydney. Marianne and Christine Sharrock, both Ryde, were stabbed to death and assaulted on Wanda Beach on January 14th. Well, that's not correct. January 11th, I think that's just a... let's see what it looked like over here. Let's see why they... Well, it says January 14th. That's an absolute typo right there. Alright, and it says Jay Springthorpe said tonight a 16-year-old youth was being questioned about the double murder, so they tracked him down, of 2 15-year-old schoolgirls at Wanda Beach, 20 miles south of Sydney. Okay, so they are questioning him, they caught him. Now we're all the way into March now. A Tasmanian youth who recently returned from Sydney was interviewed in Hobart today by 2 Sydney detectives in connection with the murder of 2 15-year-old girls on Wanda Beach. The detectives, Detective Sergeant K.R. Paul and Detective First Class Shaw, interviewed the youth this morning. They are expected to continue their Hobart inquiries for 2 days. A man being held on a minor charge claimed he knew the identity of the double murderer. He is understood to have told police he was near Wanda Beach on January 10th and had spoken to a man who claimed he had murdered the girls. Detective Superintendent Stewart said he was satisfied the youth, who was about 19, had something to contribute to the slaying investigation. He denied rumors in Hobart that there had been an arrest. One of the most extensive police investigations in recent years has been underway since the murders. The partly nude bodies of Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, both of Brush Road, West Ryde, were found buried in sand dunes on the beach January 11th. Yeah, you're just a terrible person, Scribe. You know, you show up to a place like this and You see what I'm saying? Like, you were just here to troll. And my name is Gray with an A, okay? Alright, idiot? Thanks, bud. Try to spell it right next time. Alright? Thanks, bud. I know. See, Scribe is just for me saying that he came in here and he's trying to fill in all the information. He got that angry. Right. So even if they believe it was him, we don't know if it's him, right? It's not a fact. You made it sound like it's a fact that he is the killer. And you're not, it's not accurate to say that. A fact would be if there was a investigation, DNA matched, and everything matched up, and they had an inquiry and they said, yes, that's him. That hasn't been done. Yeah, so if you missed it, Scribe typed in Gray Hughes, I hope you get murdered yourself. You piece of shit. Isn't that scary? That there's people that think like that? Like that's okay to say to anybody? See, he's a psycho, sociopath. That's what those kind of people do. That's how their brains work. They don't work correctly and they just say what they want to say. Yeah, he said that because I challenged him on what he said. I mean, it's incredible, right? Yeah, you can never get through a Saturday without Troll Central. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah. You could be, Dan Carr. Maybe the Nordic ones. Must be an Aussie, though, huh? You got a guy, an Aussie named Scribe that's a psycho. Of course, that's not their name. You ever notice that the people who say the kind of stuff he says don't ever use their real name? Right? Because they know how shameful it is. So they have these goofy names, and then they say whatever they want to say, and nobody can track it back to them. Just gutless wonders, you know, just sick people. Yeah. Well, I'm not blaming the Aussies. I said he's an Aussie. Don't get so sensitive, Sandy, all right? Way too sensitive. All the Aussies I know in here are nice people. Huh? Yeah. Right. Well, you got to put a smiley face. Oi, 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 oi. What's the equivalent to oi, oi, oi in English? American, I guess. Yeah, we're not talking about them, Carol, so. Anyways, let me just get through this, all right? I'm trying to get through this case here. Might take a while. Although, you know, the hell with it. I got to get on the beach. You know, come on, everybody. You got to get me some drinks now. This has turned into a... Incredible. Yeah, that's right. Saturday night, Troll Fest. Tonight, Troll Fest. Yep. That's right. Barbados. Thank you, Shelley Wagner. Oh, it's happy birthday? All right.
Happy birthday.
Wait, who's singing? What's going on there? Who's singing? Wow, thank you. Quietly Frozen. Man, that's going to send me... I'm going to go to... on that other island in the background over there.
Happy birthday, Shelley Wagner. Happy birthday, Shelley Wagner. Happy birthday, Shelley Wagner. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Wow, Mary Lou. You kind of lost the tone. It just sort of faded out at the end. Thank you, Kathy Freidenmaker. Thank you, DSK1317, Carolina Carla, Quietly Frozen, and Shelley Wagner. Huh? Yeah, that's okay, Lori Fisher. No problem. Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Love y'all. This may buy a straw. No, I think it's going to buy on an island like that, way out in the middle of nowhere. Probably a shot, at least. Yeah. Hey, hold on. I'll be back in a second. Thank you, Gwen and Rita Schaefer. Oh, and thank you, Karen Shank Chapman and Maureen Coe. Awesome. All right. It does make you feel pretty like you're out there, right? That music. Anyways, I'm trying to bust in some Australian stories because we got a lot of Australians who watch the show and they nag me all the time. Gray, would you get this one? I'm just kidding. There's just that one. What's that one case that I'm supposed to do? Anyways, okay, let me get out of here. Oops. Well, we're off the beach again. Okay, this one's in April. I think I already did that one. April. No, we haven't done that one. Yeah, Zach Barnes. There we go. Oh boy. You know what? I even relented and say, "Yep, I'm doing Zach Barnes." And guess what? You know, and then Zozo reaches out to the family, and they didn't want anybody to cover it. Wild, man. The brother, let's see. What's this say here? A brother of one of two girls killed at Wanda Beach, Sydney on January 11th last year told the city coroner court today the girls went to collect their belongings from some rocks and walked in the wrong direction. Huh. The brother Peter Schmidt, 11, said the girls Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt of Brush Road, West Ryde, both 15, told him they were going to get their bags, but they went the wrong way. Well, what about the blonde guy walking with him? The city coroner, Mr. J. Loomis, I don't know if it's Loomis or Looms, is inquiring into the deaths of the girls. Their bodies were found stabbed, assaulted, and buried on Wanda Beach on January 12th last year. Hey, thank you, Lily Rose. Oi. Yeah, what does oi mean again? Give me the closest meaning in American. Oh, there you go. You just said it. At the end of your sentence. That's what it means, hey you? I thought it meant like it was some kind of a cheer. Oi, Gray. The equivalent to oi is hey you. There you go. I didn't realize you put it at the end there. God, man, I should have had Streamlab. Let's see. Is that too late? Oi, Gray. The equivalent to oi is AU. Smiling face. Australian koala bear. I tried. I gave it a shot. Probably wasn't very good. Oh, so it's just like, hey you. Don't you guys use that at like sporting events too? Like everybody's chanting? Anyways, I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you. You know, I don't know if you heard the last show, but John Lorden was talking about, he does this little thing called like, it's like a secret studio thing where he just reads one of his podcasts, plays some games and whatnot. But he said it's kind of easy because everybody that shows up are people that support him. I kind of feel like that's how it is every single night here. We have a lot of, like, the Freak family show up, and it's like hanging out with friends. So that's why I feel weird when I miss a show. Basic generous. Oi, basic generous. Oi, basic generous. That's awesome. Perfect. Well, thanks, Funny Lady. Love all you guys, too. Over here it's, hey, what's up? Oh. So, hey, hey, hey. I thought it was going to be something cooler than that. Like, just like its own thing. Yeah. All right. This seems like kind of an interesting part here. So now they're saying January 12th. The city coroner, Mr. J. Looms, inquiring into the deaths of the girls. Their bodies were found stabbed, assaulted, and buried on Wanda Beach on January 12th last year. Now it was January 11th. After Peter Schmidt had given evidence, Mr. Loomis adjourned the hearing until tomorrow. Peter told the coroner he had called to the girls but they had not answered. They had giggled and walked over the sand dunes. They walked out of sight, and that was the last he saw of them. God, that's so wild. Earlier, another brother, Helmut Schmidt. Yeah, if you're going to talk about like the most, that is such a cliche German name right there. Helmut Schmidt, 17, said that he and the two girls had visited Cronulla a week earlier, so that must have been around that New Year's, and Marianne had disappeared for more than an hour. When she returned, she told him she had been to North Wanda, but would give no reason. Peter Schmidt told the court he waited on the beach for the two girls, and when they did not return, he went home. In answer to a question by Sergeant Felon assisting the coroner, Peter said he saw 3 young people sitting on rocks nearby while he was having lunch. He had not seen them again that afternoon. Asked whether a pair of sunglasses found in Christine's bag were his, Peter said he was not sure. Really? You don't know if a pair of glasses are yours? He tried the glasses on in court and asked whether he thought they were too big, replied yes. Helmut Schmidt told the coroner he did not go with the Schmidt children to the beach on the day of the two girls' deaths. Helmut said his 8-year-old brother, Wolfgang, had told him later about a boy he had seen on the day the two girls were killed. He said he saw the blonde-haired boy aged about 15 or 16 with cream on his nose, zinc, and a blue towel over his shoulder on the rocks at Cronulla Beach, walking with Marianne and later walking along the beach by himself. Thank you, Zozo. Look at that. And she's got a little picture there holding a freak mug. You guys notice that in there? What happened, Lee D? What happened? How come you're zipping your mouth? What happened? Helmut said Wolfgang told him the boy was carrying a knife when he walked with Marianne. That's hard to believe. He was carrying a knife when he walked with Marianne towards Wanda. Wolfgang told him he had followed the couple for a short time. Francis William, 57, process operator of Hume Road, Cronulla, told the court of a man sunbaking under a piece of corrugated iron. He said he went for a walk along the beach at 11 a.m. on the day the girls died. I saw a man sunbathing in a ditch on the beach, Williams said. He had a piece of corrugated iron over his body. What, he was trying to cook himself? I could see only his feet. They were big. He wore blue cuffless trousers. Detective Sergeant Reginald Douglas, leader of the CIB squad investigating the murders, produced 6 identikit photographs of 4 men seen in the beach area who were being sought by police for questioning. Men who frequented the area before the murders and behaved offensively to women have not been seen since the murders were committed. He said the identikit photographs had been given wide publicity in newspapers and by television in all states. Men sought for questioning described the identikits. Let's see. Pictures, he said. One set was made after an incident in which a man made... I wonder if they're talking about sketches, like an identikit. Yeah, he would have been baked. Oh, the zinc. Yeah, just keep saying zinc over it. I think that's a mug now. Zinc. It's... You can fry it. Wow, there's a lot in this article. Let's see. Let me go back up here. One set was made after an incident in which a man made an indecent suggestion to a woman at Wanda soon after New Year's Day 1965. Another series of pictures concerning the man were made with the help of a woman whom the man had behaved offensively between 63 and 1965. This man was seen by several women near Wanda Beach between 10 a.m. and 12:45 on January 11th. He was last seen about 12:45 in front of Wanda's beach clubhouse. 7,000 people interviewed. Another set was made of a man seen between September and December 1964 in Sandhills between Wanda Beach and Boat Harbor. The man was naked. He made no approaches to women, but timed his appearances to coincide with women walking where he was. Yeah, a flasher, really. Another identikit, or sketch, picture, was compiled when a Mr. and Mrs. Phillips saw a man. It might be one of those things where you slide in different eye shapes, so it's more like it's not really a sketch where somebody drew it, perhaps, you know. Another sketch picture was compiled when Mr. and Mrs. Phillips saw a man at 12:15 on January 11th, 1965. He walked out of Sandhills at Wanda Beach. One sketch picture was of a man who exposed himself to two women near Wanda on March 3rd, 1965. Another was a man who attacked a girl at Caringbah on August 17th, 1965. The 14-week hunt for Wanda Beach killer took fresh turn today with the release of details of homemade crab spear and a pair of swimming flippers found abandoned at the beach the day after Kristen Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, both 15, were murdered in Sandhills. Details were not given to police until this week. The spear has a wooden handle about 1 foot long, made from packing case, attached to one end by two windings of copper wire, is a barbed spear made from a piece of tinned wire. The fins are black and of continental type, made in Australia. And I guess here's a theory in this one. This is, now we're into April 2nd, 1966, so like a year and 3 months later. Homicide detectives are believed to be investigating a new line of inquiry into the Wollongong and Wanda Beach murders. They have already established a pattern in the slaying of two girls at Wanda last year. And see, this is, now we're introduced to somebody else. And a 57-year-old woman at Wollongong last weekend. All were savagely attacked with a knife and mutilated after death. So that's interesting. You're getting close to a signature at that point when you're mutilating somebody after death. The new line of inquiry is believed to be that two of the victims were German. They were Mrs. Wilhelmina Kruger, who was murdered at Wollongong on Saturday, and Marianne Schmidt, 15, who was slain at Wanda Beach on January 11th last year. Police believe Marianne's friend, Christine Sharrock, 15, was murdered only because she was accompanying the other girl during a walk over the sand dunes. I don't know, man. That's really kind of like, I mean, that means you're somebody stalking Germans and somehow knew she was German and was going to kill her because she was German. I don't know. The Wollongong murder has sparked off one of the biggest manhunts in history. Teams of detectives are searching for a cream-colored truck with a wooden canopy seen near the scene of Saturday's murder. Police believe the driver may be able to give them valuable information. Okay, well, I actually went and, based off of, I think it was Wikipedia mentioning some other people, that was one of the people. I went and looked that up, And so her name is, let's see, 57-year-old Kruger. Okay. So I have this one. Now I'm going to switch over to that. Okay, so here we go. This is January 31st, 1966. So basically just like a year later. Police believe a wharf labor hook. I mean, think about how sick that is. You know those hooks that you hook fish with? Was used to mutilate a woman cleaner at Wolfgang yesterday. The body of Mrs. Wilhelmina Kruger, 57, of Gwynneville, near Wollongong, was found in a parking area at 6 a.m. She was naked except for a shred of dress material around her neck. So, probably strangled, maybe. I don't know. I guess it was pushed up. We don't know yet. But no, she was killed with the hook, so that means they just pushed the dress up around her neck. Police said the killer attacked Miss Kruger while she was cleaning part of the Piccadilly Arcade near the main shopping center. Threw her down a flight of stairs, strangled her, then tore her to pieces. A full-scale hunt is underway. Insane. Man, I guess Australia has some wackos too, huh? Thank God they only have about, a tenth of the people that we have, or they'd have 10 times the number. Homicide detectives are believed to be investigating a new line of inquiry into the Wollongong and Wanda Beach murders. They have already established a pattern in the slaying of 2 girls at Wanda last year and a 57-year-old woman at Wollongong last weekend. So this is like an overlap article. All were savagely attacked with a knife and mutilated after death. Police believe Marianne's friend, Christine Sharrock, 15, was murdered only because she was accompanying the other girl. I'm not sure why they think that. Just because the other lady had a German name? What do you guys think about that? That seems kind of like a pretty big stretch. Like there's some sort of German motive. I would imagine Australia had a bunch of maybe some German immigrants that came there after World War II, just like they came to the United States and South America, and the Nazis all went to like Brazil and places like that. I think it's part of it. Aren't you from there? Hold on a second. Wollongong. Yeah, it's just, see, that's the area. Wollongong's right there, right? And then, I think it was like 20 miles. Well, hold on, let me go right to it. Yeah, this is Wanda Beach right here. Yeah, and see, it's right there. Okay. So that's Wollongong, and there's Wanda Beach. So I thought it was like 20 miles earlier. 31. Okay. 31 miles as a crow flies. It's north of it. Let's see. Let me get to... Okay, 3 men sought. Wednesday, murder squad detectives hunting the killer of Wollongong cleaner Wilhelmina Kruger today released details of 3 men who may be able to assist inquiries. They are the driver of a utility vehicle seen parked near the Piccadilly shopping center scene of the brutally sex slaying on January 29th. So this is also another rape, too. A young man, about 22, seen walking near the scene at 5 a.m., and the driver of an international one-ton utility, which was also parked near the murder scene at 4 a.m. And then 3 months later, in May, there's another one. Let's see. On the 29th, January 1966, the body of Wilhelmina Carolyn, says Wilhelmina, wow, they cut it off weirdly there. Wilhelmina Carolyn Emmeline Kruger, age 56 years, was found in the basement car park at the Piccadilly shopping center. Now we can actually get the exact spot here, so let's see. Piccadilly shopping center. Yeah, it's probably right there. Piccadilly, yeah, it's got to be it. Of course, a lot of things could have changed since then, but a lot of times shopping centers, they don't change, those big ones. And look, it has the underground parking, so I bet you that's going to be it. Alright, so on the 29th, January 1966, the body of Wilhelmina Carolyn Emmeline Kruger, age 56 years, was found in the basement car park at the Piccadilly shopping center. Well, I guess that would be a way to verify it. The corner of Crown and Gladstone. Well, let's see where that is. Oh, that's it. Yep. So there's Crown and Gladstone, so... Can I get a boom? No, that's it, right? I mean, that has to be it. Yeah. Alright, so it's the same place. It's crazy how those shopping centers, you know, once they're built, they last for a long time. Yeah, it sounded like it was underground. It was a basement car park, so underground. The corner of Crown Street and Gladstone. The post-mortem examination of the body disclosed that death resulted from asphyxia due to strangulation. In addition, multiple injuries had been inflicted, including numerous stab wounds and fractured bones in the head and body. Notice is hereby given that a reward of $10,000 will be paid by the government of New South Wales for such information as will lead to the arrest of the person or persons responsible for the death. Okay, and there's one more. Let's see. A Sydney detective has gone to Wagga to question a man about 3 of the state's most brutal unsolved murders. He is Detective Sergeant K. Paul, who will begin questioning the man tomorrow. The man is a Goulburn Gowl, but will be taken to Wagga for interview. The murders he will be asked about are the Wanda Beach Murders, in which 2 15-year-old girls, Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, were stabbed to death and sexually assaulted on January 12, 1965. The mutilation murder of Mrs. Wilhelmina Kruger, 50, at Wollongong last January. The murder of Elizabeth Ann Dowling, 24, similarly mutilated, whose body was found in bush at Lucas Heights on February 26 last year. All right, so I sort of sidetracked into that. So that was 1966, 5. Hold on a second. Was it that one? Okay, yeah. All right, now we've got an inquest. 1966. Again, now we're back to the Wanda articles. The inquest into the deaths of Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock will open tomorrow. The bodies of the girls, both 15, were found partially clad and mutilated at Wanda Beach, south of Sydney, on January 12th. See, mutilated is different. That means something happened, like the body was sort of altered in some way. It's not like just stabbing. It's extra, it's something different. Like cutting off part of the body or something like that. The bodies of the girls, both 15, were found partially clad and mutilated at Wanda Beach, south of Sydney, on January 12, 1965. Both had been stabbed and sexually assaulted. The city coroner, Mr. J. Looms, will hold the inquest in which the massive police investigation file on the unsolved murders will be open to the public for the first time. That would have been kind of nice to have that. The director of forensic medicine in New South Wales, Dr. D.R. Lang, told the Sydney coroner, excuse me. Oh man, something just almost like a bug landed in my throat. Opening the inquest into the deaths of Christine. So now the inquest is going on. Dr. Laney said a blood alcohol content of 0.15 was equivalent to a middy of beer. That's actually double the legal limit here. And whatever a middy is, of beer, or 1 nip of spirits. Wait, what do you mean? Maybe they're using different measurements. You know, we have like 0.08. That's 0.15. That's double, but maybe they're using different measurements because just having one little drink wouldn't be that. Equivalent to a middy of beer or 1 nip of spirits. The partly clad bodies of the 2 girls were found in a shallow grave on Wanda Beach, south of Sydney, on January 11th, not 12th, last year. Both had been sexually assaulted and repeatedly stabbed, and despite an intensive police hunt, no arrests had been made. At the start of the inquest yesterday, Mr. Looms told the relatives of the 2 girls that they had the right to be present and a further right to cross-examine any witness. Certain evidence, he said, particularly the medical evidence, might cause the mother's distress. The press was present because the law provided that the hearing be held in open court. Press reports of a similar case in England had led to the arrest of the guilty party. During the inquiry, Christine's mother, Mrs. Barry Jean Marr, told the court her daughter could not stand the smell of drink. In reply to Sergeant F. fill-in assistant coroner, Mrs. Marr said she had never known her daughter to have alcohol. What case are they talking about? It's weird. They switched. Dr. Lang said the alcohol in the girl's bloodstream had been found during an examination by the government analyst. Is that a different case? It's confusing. In reply to Sergeant, Mrs. Marr said she had never known her daughter, Christine's mother. Okay, that was Christine's mother. Okay. Dr. Lang said the alcohol in the girl's bloodstream had been found during an examination of the government by the government analyst. It could take up to an hour for alcohol to show in a bloodstream, depending on the state of the stomach. Once death took place, the percentage of alcohol in the blood remains static. It also will increase, actually, later because your body produces ethanol. But that would be over time, more like in decomposition. Let's see. Dr. Lang said he could not determine whether several drinks had been taken over a period of time. Christine's uncle, Mr. Leslie John Tague, told the coroner the consumption of a middy of beer would come as a surprise to him. To his knowledge, neither girl drank liquor. What's a middy? Is that like a pint or something? The first witness was Mr. Peter Burt Smith, a contract officer. Let's see. Mr. Smith said he had taken his nephews to Wanda Beach on January 12th. Well, it should have been 11th last year. As he was, well, maybe they were found on the 12th. January 12th last year. As he was returning to Cronulla, he noticed something covered in sand. He then uncovered the head of a girl. Constable J.E. Hawley of Cronulla said that after being called to Wanda Surf Club, he had walked a mile to where the bodies were found, about 150 yards from the water. Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah, so here's actually the picture of it. And I think that's the head that he uncovered. And then there's two girls here. And then look, there's like a foot, I think. Either a foot or, I think that's a foot. Kind of looks like it, but it could also be like a knee or part of a leg or something. Hard to really know for sure. It's kind of blurry. It's funny now, I don't even see the foot. A minute ago it looked like it was. Let's see. Constable Hawley walked a mile where the bodies were found, about 150 yards from the water. He noticed two tracks which appeared to be drag marks leading from one of the bodies and heading in a northerly direction. Detective Constable K.J. Selwood of Cronulla said both girls had a number of injuries to the upper portion of their bodies which were consistent with knife wounds. Marianne Schmidt's throat had been cut. Dr. Lang said later that the injuries on both girls indicated that a heavy or blunt instrument had been used. Sergeant R.M. Tyson of the Police Rescue Squad said that 7 days after the discovery of the bodies, 600 tons of sand around where the bodies were found was sifted by mechanical means and hand sieved. A small piece of metal had been discovered 5 yards from where the bodies were found. It had a cutting edge about 1 inch long and about 7/8 of an inch wide. It was the only thing found that could have some bearing on the girl's death. The hearing was adjourned until today. Man, today that person would be busted. There'd be DNA and all kinds of... Yeah, this is, now we're into 1967. I guess they produced a plaster figure of a man, almost certainly is the Wanda killer. How would you know that? Let me see. It's just, you know, you have sketches and you make a plaster figure and then say, hey, this is almost certainly the guy. Will be seen by thousands of visitors to this year's Royal Easter Show. 6 suspects in the double killing will be displayed in lifelike dummy form by police made up from details given by people near Wanda Beach. What a shit show that is. I mean, that is just... That's not going to lead to a damn thing. 6 I mean, look at that. There's one killer. They're going to make 6 sculptures based off of what somebody explained to them, an eyewitness. And there's no chance that it's going to lead to anything. But, you know, A for effort, you know. Probably got more enthusiasm, too, so people started talking about it. I often think a lot of that stuff is for that purpose, right? Let's see. January 12th, the New South Wales government has offered a reward of $20,000 for the capture of the man who outraged and murdered the 2 15-year-old girls. Okay, March. The man who murdered Kristen Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, both 15, at Wanda Beach on January 17, 1965, is believed by police to have been the attacker of a young married woman. So now we've got another person. A young married woman on the beach yesterday. Mrs. Brenda Kathleen Galvin, 28, of Cronulla, was sunbathing near where the 2 girls were stabbed to death. Because, you know, that's the greatest place to go sunbathing. You know, right after, you know, it's probably right next to the you know, the old mound that was there. And you go suntanning. Now, Mrs. Brenda Kathleen Galvin, 28, of Cronulla, was sunbathing near where the 2 girls were stabbed to death when she was attacked by a man who had been watching her. Mrs. Galvin told police her attacker was similar to the man in a police sketch picture in the Wanda Beach murder investigation. All police inquiries in the case have been switched to Mrs. Galvin's assailant. Mrs. Galvin was not seriously hurt. Okay, then we're going to November 1968. Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, both 15, since their bodies were discovered under a mound of sand. I think I was 3 years old at the time, right now. At Wanda Beach on Monday, January 11th, 1965. A police spokesman said in Sydney yesterday that the New South Wales police had gone to Queensland to interview a man who had been questioned before. Another police spokesman said it was regarded as the most promising lead so far. A ban has been placed on news releases about the police moves. Information on the activities of a man were sent to the Sydney CIB during this week. As a result, the 2 New South Wales police flew to Mackay on Friday night. That doesn't seem like it turned into anything. And in 1974, Thursday, a massive hunt is on in Sydney, it looks like it meant to say, for a man who raped a 17-year-old girl at knife point on Monday. Near the country town of Gosford, and claimed to be the infamous Wanda Beach murderer. So he claimed to be that person. Christine Sharrock and Marianne Schmidt, two 15-year-old schoolgirls who were savagely raped and murdered on South Sydney, Wanda Beach in January 1965. So this is 9 years later. In Monday's attack, the victim said she was hitchhiking between two northern suburbs about 9:30 p.m. and was picked up and driven to a deserted track near a Shire Council depot. The girl ran from the car as soon as it stopped, but the man caught her again and then produced a 15-millimeter knife because she pulled out a measuring tape really quick and measured it. Let's see. Does it actually say that? Fifteen-year-old. A 15-inch knife. Okay, it's a 15-inch knife. He stripped her naked and then gave her a car coat to put on while he drove her to a spot off the Pacific Highway near Gosford. The girl told police he told her he had killed before and would kill again. He said He said he murdered two girls at Wanda Beach and had been in several mental institutions. That's not related, that one. And then after that, there wasn't really any more until there's this story in the paper. So they're saying Australian serial killer linked to nation's most infamous cold case. All right, but before we get to that, there was another case that they said might have been connected. Actually, I think two more, but let's see. Here's one of Carolyn May Orphan, 1966 in June. See, listen to this one. Alan Raymond Bissett. This is another killer there. 21, covered his face with his hands today as he was charged with the murder of Wollongong, same area, girl. Let's see. Something like, it's hard to read the name that they gave her. I think her name is Carolyn May Orphan. Her naked body was found at the side of Mount Alskley Bypass Road, and that's just right up here. See, here's these other ones. It's on this road right here, so definitely in a similar geographic location, same time frame. Her naked body was found at the side of the road at 6:45 a.m. on Saturday by a couple who thought they had seen a dressmaker dummy. She had a stocking knotted around her throat, and her hands were tied behind her back with another stocking. That's a little, we don't have that type of information in the other ones, but the knife is the same. The hands, though, might have been something that were developed later. Added to his MO over time. Let's see, Bissett appeared in court. So anyways, this is a person that they think might be related to both, all of them. Alan Bissett was committed for trial. He was charged with having murdered Carolyn May Orphan 20 of Gipp Street at Wollongong on June 11, 1966. For more than more than 30 witnesses gave evidence at the committal proceedings. Police allege Bissett murdered the girls after she left him after a dance. So, I don't know. I mean, that sounds a little different, but they did seem to kind of bring him up as a potential... Alright, well anyways, there's that one. And then there is also Anna Toskayowa. There's only one article. She was a sex worker. But this is January 1967. January 19th, alright? So, it says, murder of Anna Toskayowa Dalankoa at Lucas Heights in February last year. So it had been 66 in February. Bore a close resemblance to what are commonly known as the Jack the Ripper murders, the city coroner Loomis said today. So Loonies, they said, but I think it's Loomis. Mr. Loomis was holding an inquest into the death of an unsolved murder of the 24-year-old woman who had been strangled and then shockingly mutilated. Well, that sounds very similar, right? Formerly of Bondi, was found dead in scrub near the new Illawarra Road. Let's see where that is. New Illawarra Road. I think that might be it. So up in that area. Yeah, it's not too far. I mean, there's Wanda Beach. It's right there. So somewhere on this road right here. Man, my energy level, the coffees have all dried up, man. I almost want to play this sound effect. Or actually, it was more this one over here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Unsolved murder of the 24-year-old woman who had been strangled and then shockingly mutilated. Dalankoa, formerly of Bondi, was found dead in scrub near the new Illawarra Road at Lucas Heights on February 26. Police said she was last seen alive at 11:30 p.m. at a club in King's Cross. Giving his findings, Mr. Loomis said the evidence did not establish the identity of any persons against whom a prima facie case of murder could be made out. I am also unable to determine on the evidence where death actually took place. Hey, thanks, Lee D. There's Dottie O. Caspian Horses Rock Lemon. Detective Sergeant E.J. Coley of Sutherland told Mr. Loomis that police had interviewed about 1,700 people throughout Australia in connection with the case. The crime bears a close resemblance to what are commonly known as the Jack the Ripper murders. He found Dalankoa had been strangled by a person or person unknown, but he was unable to establish where the crime was committed. Let's see, the medical examiner suggests the stab wounds were inflicted again after death. So, see how that's similar too? And there was one place, I can't remember where I was reading it, but they were saying that the stab wounds were done in threes based on how they were angled. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and then over here 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let me get back to this one. Christopher Bernard Wilder, known in the United States as the Beauty Queen Killer, abducted and raped at least 12 women, killing 9 of them during 6-week cross-country crime spree in the U.S. in early 1984. Wilder lived in Australia from birth until 1969 and was residing on Sydney's northern beaches at the time of the Wanda murders. Police files contained from 1960s reveal that Wilder was named as an official police suspect. Retired Detective Inspector Ian Watterson was in charge of Wanda Beach cold case, and he believes Wilder is the #1 suspect in one of the nation's most baffling crimes. Now, you know that whack job that was in here earlier? What was the name he was talking about? What name did he mention? The one that everybody knows who the killer is. Yet he doesn't seem to be showing up. What was the name of that person? Anybody remember? Yeah, I mean, this guy could be the killer. Yeah, so his name hasn't come up yet once. Derek Percy. All right, well, we'll check that out a little bit later. I win. Let's see. Despite countless theories and leads over the 5 decades, the Wanda Beach murders remain one of Australia's most infamous unsolved cases. Wait a minute, I thought it was solved. Everybody knows who did it. I mean, it was completely solved. The Sunday night program was revealed how Wilder escaped scrutiny from the police even though his name had been put forward by his wife. Wilder married in 1968, but his wife left him after 1 week because of his violent nature and raised her suspicions with authorities. Police took months to follow up on the lead and missed the opportunity to interview Wilder before he immigrated to America in 1969 at the age of 24 and settled in Miami. I think I remember this guy. We've talked about him. Yeah, let's type in this other guy though. Okay, so here we go. Here he is, Derek Percy. Derek Ernest Percy. You know, the 3 named serial killers. Was a suspected Australian serial killer and convicted child killer who was also a person of interest linked to the mysterious deaths of at least 9 other children in the 1960s. See, I'm not really sure if, I mean, well, let's take a look at it. Trying to load up something, but I can't get to it. Interesting. Yeah, Derek Ernest Percy. Let's just see what's going on here. Okay, so it does mention it way down here at the bottom. Related cases. Percy was known to be visiting his friend's grandparents in Ryde at the time. So that's where the two girls came from. A house near the homes of the victims. Based on sketches, witnesses recalled seeing a young man resembling Percy talking with the girls on the train and at the beach, and he was considered a leading suspect for the murders by police. Well, you know, it would be interesting if he was considered a suspect before he actually was arrested as a serial killer later. It sounds like that's probably how it went. So that would mean that, wow, that one of their suspects that they had might have actually been the killer, because he ended up being a serial killer later and killing people, right? Because if they were onto him even back then, they're saying in January of 1965, Percy was known to be visiting his friend's grandparents, a house near the two other victims. Witnesses recall seeing a young man resembling him talking to the girls on a train. So that would have been before. Yeah, so he killed, the Beaumont murders. Let's see. Percy was born on 15th of September 1948. So he would have been, he would have only been 17, which matches exactly what they were saying. Percy began to attract the attention of authorities in late 1964 when he started stealing and wearing female underwear and mutilating dolls with razor blades and knives. Oh boy. In 1965, the family relocated to Cancoban in New South Wales. Their sixth move in 12 years, or their sixth move in 12 years, where he began writing down bizarre and violent sexual fantasies. In 1966, he repeated year 11, then tried year 12, like senior in high school, but dropped out and joined the Australian Navy as a naval rating in electrical mechanics in November 1967. He was posted to the aircraft carrier HMAS Melbourne in March 1968. And then Percy was arrested at Cerbus, adjacent to Crib Point on the, Mornington Peninsula south of Melbourne, for the murder of 12-year-old Yvonne Toohey, a ski beach near Warnett. God, it's so hard to read all these crazy names. On 27th July 1969. At the time he abducted Toohey at knife point, he also tried to abduct her friend, Shane Spiller, 11, who only escaped by threatening Percy with his tomahawk. Spiller, however, was able to describe to police the abductor and his vehicle, an orange Datsun station wagon with a Navy sticker on the back window. Police, accompanied by Spiller, then went to the Cerbus base and discovered Percy's washing machine. Percy machine washing blood off of his clothes. When questioned, he denied involvement, but eventually led police to her mutilated body in a paddock of fisheries. Man, that's crazy. So, maybe he is the guy, right? Makes sense. But the case still isn't solved. Psychos. Oh, man. So, I think that's it for that one, you guys. Pretty wild, pretty wild. The location on the beach. So while I'm sitting on the beach here, Waiting for some nice little drinks to make me happy. I'm going to try to find a map. Let's see. Wanda Beach Murder map. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Psycho. I think I already have that one, though. Wanda Beach Surf Club. See, they have it going over to the left. See, that's the ocean out there, I would imagine. See. That's a long ways to be walking. Maybe this was moved and it was more. Was who won? Me? Thanks, Rita Schaefer. Was who won? Yeah, he was a suspect in Beaumont murders. Wanda Reserve. Man, everything's backwards what they say, because this is the other beach over here. Cronulla Park, right? So that'd be Cronulla Beach. So it wasn't near there, though, because it was a mile from this place. But none of this looks like that, unless this was all open back then. A long time ago, like maybe. But it looks kind of like a cliff, almost. Maybe right there. I don't know. Well, anyways, hope you guys thought that was interesting anyways. I know it's not the really cool big cases, you know, Well, that was a fun vacation. We were just talking about an Australian case from 1965, Jenny Penny, and also how the grifter, copying every single thing that I do, can't think on his own, so it's always something somebody else does. Yeah. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for me tonight. I appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out. Yeah, so does anybody have any more questions from earlier? We can do a little, mini Crime Con question and answer. Well, I appreciate it. It's just so bizarre to me that people don't see the grifter. Just look him up for God's sakes. Yeah, you don't, it doesn't need to know. Yeah. Well, CrimeCon just happened. It's right now, Sarah, so no. Earlier today, I did a video. I was supposed to have a couple of people call, but they got busy. But John Lorden found the time, and he came on for about 10 minutes. It's pretty cool. He even said, referred to all of you as the Freak family. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. Yeah, well, he and I, we did 3 Minute of Mystery for 3 years. We'll probably do it again at some point, but and Morph as well. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Kubi's, she's not really welcome here, I'll tell you that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, she bailed on the channel and went to another, this other guy, and that guy was just a total wacko, and then started telling him stuff that was totally bogus, saying that we were sending people over there, and you know, I don't know where the hell he went. And so that didn't, she became like the Uber mod, and then she switched over. Now she goes over to his channel all the time to try to get in on there too. It's really kind of weird, to be honest with you. So, yep, you got it. Oh, cool, DSK. Yeah. She was over on this other guy's channel. You know, another true crime channel, and became a moderator, and she just kept, you know, she'd always be over there during my show, so I just said, you know, I don't remember what it was. She just never came back, but she was still a moderator, and then she started doing some weird shit, trying to tell him that we were sending all these people over to his channel, and I don't even go there. You know, it's like, and he was like delusional, this guy. He sent me emails telling me, oh, you're this person and this one and this one. I know who you are, man. You stop coming over when, and screw it, man. I mean, he lost all credibility. Flake, total flake, you know, looks like he's going to pass out on a screen when he's got guests on. Not good. So anyways, you know, I don't really like it when and he was starting to copy stuff that I was doing too. I mean, it was really weird. All right, so like similar type of little ideas, you know, and you know that all came from her. It's bizarre stuff. Ugh, crazy times, man. Crazy times. Do you want to, Jay? Is that what you're trying to say? You'd want to, but you just can't? Well, it's true. I mean, it's weird, because I was really kind of the only live true crime YouTuber that would do shows like pretty much every single day. And then other people started trying to do it, and then he just... Really, Sarah? All right. Cool. anyways, I don't mind Kubi, you know, like she can go do whatever she's doing, but she was really starting to tell him a bunch of stuff that was totally bogus. I mean, it was really amazing. No, I'm not feeling like they're copying anything. I know they are. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The reason it bothers me is you have somebody who's a grifter, like technically a grifter that's been articles written about this person, literally a grifter who takes money and doesn't ever do what he says he's going to do with it. Okay, that's a real thing. And I don't know if you watched yesterday's show, but we discussed the case that Identifinders solved, and we actually covered back in December of last year, just randomly. They solved it. And then you go over to, and then I said, hey, everybody, listen, what we're going to do when we get the information from the 1961 hitchhiker uploaded to GEDmatch, I'm going to be allowed to film it and the genealogy, and I'll have to edit it and blur out some names and stuff. And then today, the grifter, he does a show, and he puts the same case up on the screen and tells him, yeah, I uploaded the GEDmatch, and I'm going to show you guys how to work it on there, but I'm going to have to blur out the names and so forth on the side. And I mean, give me a break, everybody. It's like the same wording. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. I mean, I think it would piss anybody off in that same situation. Yeah, most people do, Jenny Penny. Not just you. Other people just find the time, you know. Let's see. Are you... Yeah, so Colleen Fitzpatrick and Misty will be coming on next week. Yeah, it's just a coincidence, you know. It's just me feeling like he's doing it. It's not really happening. Even though I get about 10 emails a day saying, great, you see that? He copied you again. As a matter of fact, on this one point, you know, behavioral, too. It's weird. Yep, so Colleen and Misty's really cool. I think you guys really like her. I mean, you can tell why they're all friends. She's just somebody that's new that I've talked to. Colleen's probably the funniest, smartest person you're ever going to meet. And then this person, obviously, she's like she must be an absolute rock star of a genetic genealogist, because she's like their main person, and just bang! Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just, God, it's frustrating. But we're just going to keep on trucking. But I got to call it out when it happens. That's for damn sure. Yeah, well, this next week they're both going to come on at the same time. And I think that'll be really fun for everybody to hear them discussing the DNA in that case. It's wild. Extremely degraded DNA in a tiny, tiny bit, and they were able to put it all together and upload it to GEDmatch. That's crazy, right? And then 2.5 hours after it was uploaded, they got a match. They found the person, or a lead to give to the police. You know, the leads that genetic genealogists give to police is probably the greatest lead that you could ever give. It's got to be called that, though. But imagine, it's basically like having a witness walk up to you and say, listen, I know who did it. I know the guy. He shot both of them, and he walked by me. I saw who it was. It's Jim Smith. Okay, now I apologize if your name's Jim Smith. I tried to pick something so generic. And so that's it, right? Then they have to go prove that it's Jim Smith. So basically, once this will all show up on the other show, by the way. He'll say this exact same sort of recitation and sort of combination of thoughts. It'll be, so they generate the lead based on genetic genealogy. You try to figure out where the person, does it make sense where they're living, and you can find all this stuff online. And you give them some leads. They already have DNA in CODIS already. That's the first step. Then they process the DNA again, give you a DNA sample. You go through, you have to format it. You get the DNA sequence, then you format it, upload it to GEDmatch. The genealogist determines who the person is after a lot of times weeks and weeks of investigation. But in this case, it was 2.5 hours. And then you provide the name. Then the police have to go and clandestinely get a sample of DNA from a bottle or cigarette or something that the suspect had thrown out. They have that tested, and then when that matches, then they have to do other things to sort of put him in the area at the right time, do all kinds of investigation. Once all the pieces are together, and especially if it's like semen or skin under a fingernail, that alone is probably almost enough to put out a warrant immediately, because the evidence that the DNA came from is ridiculously powerful circumstantial evidence, and it's physical evidence, but circumstantial evidence of them being the assaulter and killer. Right? There you go. Popo will find it. Yeah, that's right. Well, anyways, I think that's going to be it, you guys. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you to Rita Schaefer, Scott Holland, Tracy, Sarita, Lee D, LM, Shelley Wagner, Quietly Frozen, Carolina Carla, Kathy Friedenmaker, Lori Fisher, Linda Howell, Gwen, Rita Schaefer, Maureen Coe, Karen Shank Chapman, Lily Rose, Zozo, Lee D, and Rita Schaefer. Yep. And I think in the next 3 or 4 months, there's going to be really cool stuff for our channel in terms of the genetic genealogy stuff. There's one case that's almost ready to be uploaded to GEDmatch, I think, and then another one that's in the process of it. They've already got DNA and everything, and it's another case that we actually talked about it on the show one time, but now I can't talk about it until I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's cool. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys very much for showing up tonight. And, you know, as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Oh, and get vaccinated. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. inspector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, misdemeanor than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, ya, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Hello? Hey, where's my music, man? Where the hell's my music? Gee! Gee!
Why do you keep saying G? You sound weird when you say that.
Gee, Gray, you're so mean. Troll in my food, but I don't eat it. I chew it up and spit it out and repeat it. Control is beat. Just one of the ways that I defeat it. Played in my groove. When there's a troll on the move, just takes a second to remove. Cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose. Nice try, Lizard Eye, I see you creeping on the sly. Why you think you're so fly? You're such a whiny cry. Hey man, I had that memorized, can you believe that? And listen, I said backwards, brand new invention, something rather holding me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll roll to the extreme. I'm about to mic like a vandal, right up the stage. I'm about to chomp like a candle, dance till the speakers hit boom, filling your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, I'll leave it, better gain weight, better hit bulls that a kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook on my DJ, revolve it. Now that the party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the drinkers are pumping, quick to the point, cause the point no faking, cooking MCs like a pound of bacon, burning them, being quick and nimble, go crazy when I hear the cymbal with a hi-hat, with a souped up tempo. I'm gonna roll, time to go solo, rolling in my 5.0 with a rag top down so my hair can blow. The girl is on standby, waiting just to say hi. This is top, no, just rolled on, kept on, go soon to the next stop. I bought a left, I'm headed to the next block. The block was dead, y'all, so I continued to A1A, Detroit Avenue. Girls were hot, wearing Western bikinis, rock men, logos, driving Lamborghinis, jealous. Cause I'm out in my shade was a gauge and my number was a 9. Gunshots ranged out like a bell. I grabbed a 9 and I heard those shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Hey, where's my music? Gee!
Are you really gonna whine like that all day long? Gee.
Now you're saying G? That's my word.
What do you mean you own the word G?
No, I don't. M-A-S, a T-E-R, a G with a double E. Said I would go by the unforgettable name of the man I call a Master G. Well, my name is known all over the world by all the foxy ladies and the pretty girls. Going down in history as the baddest brother there ever could be. Now I'm feeling the highs and I'm feeling the lows. Beat starts getting into your toes. You stop popping your fingers and stamping your feet and moving your body while you're sitting and you said, damn. You stop doing the freak. I said, damn. I ride out of your seat. Then you throw your hands high in the air. You're rocking to the beat without a care. Rocking to the beat without a care. With the tour side MCs for the affair. With a knot as tall as the rest of the game. And I can rap to the beat just the same. I got a little face and a pair of brown eyes. I'm a friend to the ladies is hypnotized. Singing on and on and on and on. Beat don't stop until the break of dawn. On and on and on and on. Like a hot diddy pop, diddy pop, diddy pop, diddy diddy pop, diddy pop, pop. You don't dare stop, I come alive, yo. Give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you rock. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me Wanda, Mark, what are you waiting for? He told a little story that sounded well rehearsed. 40s on the run and then he's dying of thirst. The brew was in my hand and he was on my tip. Voice of soul was dry out before a sip. Second I got some, I said he could get done. Had a chance to run, pulled a shotgun. Quick on the draw, I thought I'd be dead. Put the gun to my head and this is what he said. My name is MCE, I got a license to kill. Hope you know what time it is, the time to get ill. Now what do we have here? The not one is dear. I run a slant, you ain't consider heaven set clear. Well, we rode 6 hours and we hit the spot. Took was girl and then the girl was hot. The two was staring like he knows who we are. We took the hippie spot next to him at the bar. Yippee yo, you know this kid? I said I did, but I know he did. Kid said get ready, this ain't funny. My name's Mike D and I'm about to get money. Pulled out the jammy, aimed at the sky and let 2 fly. Ran went up and hit the floor. I wasted 2 kids that ran for the door. I'm Mike D and I get respect. The cash in the jewelry is what I expect. MCA was with it and he's my ace. So I grabbed a pen, ran a punch in the face. Piano players out, music stopped. Boy had 8 and he got dropped. Mike D grabbed the money, MCA grabbed the gold. Grabbed 2 girlies and a beer, that's cool.
Wow, you're nuts, Mary Lou.
Gee, John boy, you're so mean.
That's not very good. That's not very good.
Okay. You was wanna write about me and the crew about something we did or supposed to do. Might not have heard it, or maybe you have, but when I first heard it, all of it was black. I used to get angry and all uptight, but you can say what you want to spell my name right. Cause I'm never guilty of us rocking a house, but that's not what the rumor was all about. If me ask you then, tell all your friends, and if you don't, wait till you see me again. Just wait, I can hear it from the horse's mouth right then and there. You straighten it out, you got a big mouth, big mouth. Mary Lou, you like my raps that much? Yeah, Grace sucks, doesn't he?
Wait a minute, Mary Lou. That's mean. Gosh, Mary Lou, that's so mean.
Wait, you're gonna cry now too?
No, I was just imitating you.
Oh, okay, I get it. mean, huh? Wait, that's me. What do you mean? Okay, I mean, he's me, not she, gee. All right, everybody. Man, thanks everybody, that was really fun.
Oh my god, isn't that a little overboard?
Well, I was just trying to show support for Gray's show.
Yeah, but you're... oh, forget it. Go ahead.
Okay, gee, John boy.
Man, these two, I tell you what, every single night, it's never... Hey, thanks Rita Schaefer. I'll buy another email account for Mary Lou, okay? It's something digital, I guess.
Why the hell would I want another email account? I can't do anything with that.
Well, you can't really do anything with anything, right? Because you're digital.
Oh, that's a good point, but, maybe I could play Roku or something?
Oh, okay. Yikes. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow, all right? And tomorrow is the weekly Delphi case. And boy, won't that be a fun show, huh? I should probably do it earlier in the day. See how that goes, all right? Maybe I should do that like at 2 o'clock or something. You know, it'd be kind of cool. I'm going to check in with Kelsey and them and see if while they're driving back in there, they have like an RV or something. And it'd be cool just to be like they're on the road driving back talking to us about how it went or something. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? Of course, now that I've mentioned it on the show, there'll probably be another attempt by somebody else to do the exact same thing. Yeah, but that'd be cool. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.